Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm the OPJellicent, and I'm going to be going over my Week 3 game for WPL Season number 8. I ended up getting matched up against Rudiger and his Cleveland Escavaliers this week, who, in my opinion, are one of the more proficient battlers in the league, but unfortunately, they'd have started off 0-2, so a little bit tough for them. Myself, on the other hand, are 2-0, so the Toronto Leaf Storms are definitely looking to win this game right here and continue the streak, but definitely a very tough matchup right here. Let's quickly go over my team before we go ahead and hop right into the battle. I have a Rock Polish Mega Deontay right here, which is basically meant to be a late game cleaner. It's really good against his entire team right here. Just need rocks up and a bit of chip damage on the Rotom and the Mamoswine, and it can basically just sweep on its own. We have an Okaberry Fortress right here, which is mainly meant to go ahead and take on the Mega Mawil's Fire Fang. I do have counter on that thing, so that could be very good tech right here. It is also my Stealth Rocker for the team. We actually have a Choppleberry Kyurem-black. He had a potential Thunderous Incarnate form that could come to the game, and I really did not want to get knocked out by a Focus Blast, so I figured that could be very good right here. Unfortunately, he did not bring that, so my Choppleberry right here is really only going to be useful if it ends up taking a superpower from the Mamoswine. We actually have two Assault Vest users right here with my Torn and my Jolteon. Torn right here is a really good pivot into Pokemon like Hydreigon and Salazzle, both of which he did bring, so Torn is going to be very important, and then Jolteon was mainly meant to take on the Thundurus as well, but it's also helpful here against Rotom Wash, so that can be very good right here. Preventing those Volt Switches and taking Hydro Pumps is definitely very solid. And then finally, we actually have a Colbur-Berry Azelf, so half my team this week has Resist Berries, two of them have Assault Vest, and then a Megastone right here, so that's going to be very interesting. The Colbur-Berry was mainly meant for this Hydreigon, because I can take a Dark Pulse and then go ahead and Dazzle and Gleam it. Now, if he does go for Draco Meteor, that will knock me out, but you'd think Dark Pulse would do the play, because Deontay obviously would take a Draco anyway, and I don't have good Dark Pulse switch-ins on this team, so I figured that could go ahead and work out for me right here. And let's go ahead and get right into it. I figured Kyurem-black could be a good lead right here, which I do end up leading off with. He gets the lead matchup right. I was really trying to pressure either the Uxie or the Mamoswine right away, being those, as those are the two rockers, obviously. And I wasn't really expecting rocks on Mega Mawile, but I decided to make a little bit of an offensive play here into Fortress turn 1, not really expecting a Fire Fang as an offensive play from his part, as he does go right here for the play rough, and this next turn he's actually just going to go ahead and go right for the Fire Fang. I was kind of expecting him to scout, because I actually brought Okaberry counter Fortress week 1. He gets a burn, which is not too big of a deal at all, but I'm able to go ahead and get rid of the Mawile turn 2, which is absolutely amazing. You guys can see that I had no other play off switch-ins after Fortress was gone. He goes out into his Mamoswine right here, and it doesn't reveal Life Orb, so I was kind of curious as to what it was. I figured either way, because obviously Terra Volt prevents Thick Fat, I could go ahead and bring out Kyurem-black this next turn, and his Ice Beam switches are not very great. If he goes Rotom Wash, that's damage for Deontay, which is absolutely amazing. So Salazzle has no way to OHKO me, and obviously nothing else really wants to come in except for Uxie, which he's going to be bringing out here, obviously. It is his best play. As this next turn, I actually end up misplaying a bit. I should have gone for the sub, scouting for Toxic or Thunder Wave, but I actually think it gets Thunder Wave, but he goes for the Toxic, and basically I'm going to be getting worn down now. I figured there was really no point in subbing, because he could just break it with Psychic after, and it would be the same thing, but I really should have scouted for Toxic right there. I did have sub on this Kyurem-black set, so a little bit unfortunate, but I can go ahead and continue to wear this Uxie down. I do want it in range of my Mega Deontay if at all possible, so with this next Ice Beam right here, I'm able to go ahead and get it in range of my Mega Deontay's Moonblast, so this thing is now in range, and Mega Deontay's looking amazing. All I need is damage on this Mamoswine, which there's 54%. Now this thing is in range of Moonblast too, which is absolutely amazing. The last thing I need for Mega Deontay is damage on that Rotom, and then I Rock Polish up and just 6-0 his team from there, so I guess 5-0 or whatever the differential would be, so that's basically the game plan going from here, right? But basically he brings out the Mamoswine. I guess he did not remember Thick Fat, he told me, so that's definitely very unfortunate for him, because he's obviously going to be switching out this next turn, not wanting to take another hit. Goes out into his Rotom Wash right here, so really all he got out of that Mamoswine pivot was an extra turn of Toxic, but now this Rotom Wash is also in range of my Rock Polish Mega Deontay, so he's Hydro Pumping me here, which is totally cool. I figured that in case he has actually Choice Banded Mamoswine, that I didn't want to go out into my Deontay yet, because obviously I can go out into it, just proceed to not Mega Evolve or Rock Polish up and do the job, but a Hydro Pump plus a Banded Ice Shard would actually knock me out, so I decided to go right here into my Azelf and just go ahead and pick this off with Psychic, kind of hoping that I can actually lure this Hydreigon, because if it is Choice Scarf, that would probably be what wants to come in right here, as he does actually end up going out into Hydreigon. So obviously I'm hitting that Dazzling Gleam because it's a safe switch in on my part, stay on my part, sorry. He ends up going for the U-turn, so I don't knock out Hydreigon, but I know that the Hydreigon is Choice Scarf now, meaning it is not a Focus Sash yet or a what's the fairy resist called? I think it's a Roselli Berry, so it's really not going to be able to take on my Mega Deontay after a Rock Polish at all. and he ends up bringing out his Mamoswine right here. This next turn is very big because I want to scout this Mamoswine's item, right? And he actually did. I did run some calcs after this. It's a banded Mamoswine, as it did not really show an item against my fortress, but I did not know this because he actually ends up getting an Ice Shard crit right here. So now I don't know what the item is. The reason that's so big is because I obviously cannot set up on this thing now because I don't know what its item is. Had I known that was obviously banded into Ice Shard, I go Mega Deontay right there, I Rock Polish up in regular form, and I just win the game with my attacks right here. But now in this scenario, I kind of have to go ahead and play the whole sack and outplay game until the late game right here. So that really sucked, that crit right there, because this would have been a 3-0 in my favor from that position. But unfortunately, I'm going to be able to knock out this Uxie. This is fortunate. I'm able to knock out the Uxie here with a couple attacks, but I would have had the game secured right there. I'm pretty sure that was banded Mamoswine from the calcs I ran after the game. It did so much to my Azelf with that crit, and yet it actually hit my Deontay with an Ice Shard later. So here, I figured what the logic was, is my Deontay before Mega Evolving can actually take Earth Powers from this really well, and I could potentially try to secure the 2-0 after Jolteon goes down, but he unfortunately ends up actually seeing that ahead of time right here, and ends up going out into a Salazzle, so a little bit unfortunate, and I do pack a little bit of heat on my Jolteon, as you guys will see this week. He goes for Flame Charge right here and reveals Life Orb, and check this out, I'm able to go ahead and this next turn hit him up with that Quick Attack right here, so that Speed Boost really does not matter at all. This Mamoswine comes out, I just go for the crit Quick Attack right here, but he's able to knock me out with the Ice Shard once again. Had I known that this was banded, I'd literally Rock Polish up right now and clean up this team, but unfortunately I have to go for the attack and just hope that my Torrent can beat the Hydreigon late game, because obviously it will have Scar Flash Cannon right here. And yeah, I'm just going to take the kill. I'm not going to risk him not being banded right here, because I don't know. I didn't actually know at this point in the game. So that looks like banded damage with 40%. So I was actually pretty upset when I saw that, because I would have been able to Rock Polish up and win. But unfortunately, this next turn, Hydreigon is going to come in. I am at Assault Vest Tornadus, as I said, so I should be able to take this on just fine. He needs a Spidef drop right away and 2 high rolls to be able to 1v1 my Tornadus T after rocks right here. So thankfully, as you guys are going to see, he does not end up getting the Spidef drop. That does pitiful damage, as U-Turn will be able to go ahead and clean up this game. Even if he got the Spidef drop right there, he would have needed a Spidef drop into a crit to be able to knock me out. This next one is going to not knock me out right here, and we're able to thankfully win the game anyway. I really think that should have been a 3-0 in my favor from the position, but unfortunately that did not work out for us. GG to Rudiger, though. Definitely sucks about the Mamoswine with the whole thick fat thing. I definitely can relate to not forgetting about Terravolt, sorry. So that definitely sucked, but we were able to go ahead and come out on top right there, which is definitely very cool. Did hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and check out my opponent's perspective down below in the description. Maybe they will confirm that they were choice banned or not, who knows. But anyway, we're moving on to 3-0. Next week we face the Pokemaster Mike and his New York Mew, so that should definitely be a very fun battle. And I'll see you then. Later.